Are you at all worried that in just under a week, it's going to be the US elections, and with tensions running so high just south of the border, should we be worried up here as Canadians? In fact, our own Prime Minister Justin Trudeau earlier this month said that, listen, we are hoping for a smooth transition in the event of a contested election, but if not, we should be prepared. So who's worried here?
Hi, me over here. And it's amazing how many people are like, Kayla, why do you care about what's happening south of the border? Like, the border is not like, what, 45 minutes away from where I live right now? I'm terrified. And I'll tell you why it's so terrifying is I've gone through every situation. Biden, a contested election, Trump going for a second term, and none of it sounds good to me. None of it. Because what worries me is the day that we find out if Trump does or not get his second election, or if Biden gets in, and then it's from that day to when the next president gets sworn in. And we all know Donald Trump, okay? An angry Donald Trump can be a very petty Donald Trump. And so when you're thinking about a country that is so close to us, and you're thinking about the trades and the trillions of dollars, billions of dollars that have gone back and forth between these countries, I'm worried that there might be a disruption there. And I'm worried that that might affect our economy. And it will affect our economy. So, I mean, for me, I just think it's foolish to not pay close attention to what's happening in the States, because I do think it does affect us.
No, you're right. And you're not alone. There was a recent poll that found that Canadian sentiment towards the U.S. has reached its lowest in 40 years. In fact, only 29% of us apparently have a favorable view of our southern neighbor. And I mean, I don't know. I keep going back. I've said this to Jason a bunch of times. Like, I'm not sure what scenario I'm more afraid of, if Trump gets in again or if he doesn't. And I think, I mean, I don't want to be alarmist, but I keep flashing back to this thing that happened to me when I was on vacation once in the Caribbean. And Jason, we were on a beach, and Jason struck up this conversation with this guy from a Southern American state. I think he was from Texas, and he was a Trump supporter. And he just decided to start telling Jason about how his gun collection and how he has collected guns all his life, and that every time he goes to the store, any store that sells ammo, he just picks up a bunch of rounds just to have to prepare for
like candy.
What? Yeah. And I just always think back to that guy and how many other guys are like that who have been low key preparing for some kind of civil uprising. And I just feel like Donald Trump has been courting that kind of a base to wait, to be on standby for any kind of alarm system that he wants to send out. That scenario is the scariest to me.
And it's not only on the down low, it is very out in the open. We were all watching the headlines when a group of 11 or 13 men called the Wolverine Watchmen, which is an anti-government, anti-establishment, anti-law enforcement militia group that is based in Michigan. And P.S., they're not the only ones. They were heavily present when they stormed their own Capitol building. You know, we talk about ISIS and they tried to create a caliphate under their flag of religion. This group has been called domestic terrorists, but they're not doing it in the name of religion. They're doing it under the name of the Second Amendment. And they're not the only ones. There's another group called the Michigan Militia. And this is a group that has very openly said they are trying to create their own, dare I use the word caliphate, state, area, geography, where they are out of reach of the government. You know where Michigan is, right? It's the other side of Windsor. And I'm not here to scare Windsor. What I'm saying is Justin Trudeau is right in saying we need to watch these groups carefully. Why is Trump not mandating masks across his country when we know they save lives? Because this group stormed the Capitol saying, don't tell us what to do, government. And so Trump wants any supporter he can get. And therefore, he doesn't mandate masks. He's trying to appease people called the Wolverine Watchmen. These are people who wanted to kidnap their governor, and their plot was foiled. This is not just a down low anymore, Sin. This is an out and out. We are here. Be scared of us.
Yeah, and then to go back to what Kayla was talking about, but this border that we share with this country that has a violent history, has potentially a violent future. How does that relate to Canadians? Well, are we safe? And, you know, in that sense, I would think about, for example, South Korea, democracy, they're generally peaceful, but they share a border with North Korea. And so there's a reason why South Korea has conscription laws for men up to the age of 28 years old. So in that country, because they border a border with North Korea, they have to have their citizens enlist in the army. Now, I don't want to be alarmist either, but the future is I don't know. And we live next to this violent country. And if they have some kind of war going on for years and years and years, what shape is our military in? How can we defend our borders? How are our citizens going to need to respond? That's why we need to be paying attention. And another reason why we need to be paying attention, by the way, they just confirmed a new Supreme Court justice. She has a record of being anti-reproductive rights. If Donald Trump wins, they're saying that she is going to vote along with the other Supreme Court justices against the Affordable Care Act, and that Roe v. Wade, the reproductive rights law, will fall. Guess what happens to the women in the United States? The women who need abortions, the women who need health care, the people who need health care. Guess where they're going to come? Do you think they're going to fly across an ocean to find it, to get what they need? No, they're going to drive here. So that is what affects us too, and it's very possible. Do not think it's not.